Happening this weekend, the Grand Rapids Triathlon returns to Ada. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Laster here from the Wood TV live desk. Joining me this morning, GRTri race director Jon Conkling. Jon, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us here. Let's start with a little bit of the nuts and bolts here on this race. Tell me a bit about it.
Sure. Grand Rapids Triathlon is a swim, bike, run event. So athletes will start their day with a swim in the Thornapple River and then continue on a bike and then follow up with a run that will hopefully take them through the finish line. We are the largest independent triathlon in Michigan. We're a two-day event. We're usually one of the first big events to happen at the beginning of the summer. So we really are kind of the kickoff to the triathlon season here in West Michigan. So we pull very strongly locally, but we also pull from upwards of 40 to 45 states, a couple different countries. So GRTri is definitely on the map as one of a larger event in the region for sure, and on the national scale.
So again, as you just mentioned, there are events taking up the whole weekend there. Run me through that split, that two-day split there, of what we'll see on Saturday and then what we'll see on Sunday.
You got it. So Saturday is our short day. It really is our newbie-friendly day. We have our super sprint distance, which is the shortest distance that you can do, and then our sprint distance. So each one of those, we're biking not more than 12 miles. We're swimming 600 meters or half of that for the super sprint, and then you're doing a 5K or 2.5K, depending on what that distance is that you're doing. So very newbie friendly. We attract up to 40-45% of new triathletes that day. And then on Sunday is our veteran triathletes come out for that. People that have been doing it for a few years, our longer distances, which is the Olympic, and then the half distance, which is actually a 70.3 mile total day. So those folks are starting at 7 in the morning. They're racing until 3:30 in the afternoon to get to that finish line, some of them. And then Saturday, as I mentioned, we're very short. It's just a 7 a.m. to 10:30 in the morning situation. So definitely different makeups each day. But just a really wonderful race. And we even have people doing both days. So they'll do a short distance Saturday, they'll come back and then do it again on Sunday. So it's just a nice, complete weekend event.
You mentioned the newbies. What would you tell them, people who are maybe considering it or people who are just starting it, this is their first year, what do you tell them, or what would you tell someone maybe thinking about kind of pulling the trigger there and giving it a try?
Time and again, we hear from triathletes that at one point, very recently usually, especially if they're a newbie, they thought they couldn't do this. There's a mysticism around triathlon and a barrier, because it's not just a running event or a cycling event. I mean, it's three different things. The joke in triathlon is why do one thing poorly when you can do three sports equally as bad? It just seems like a lot, but the hard part is getting signed up, do a short distance, and once you get signed up, you're going to find very quickly that the West Michigan triathlon community is extremely welcoming. We have a ton of resources on our website. We have a ton of events that we put on throughout the year, especially if we get close to race day, to get people biking together, to learn how to ride on the road. We just held our practice swim yesterday in the Thornapple River with over 100 swimmers. Most of them were newbies. We have full lifeguards out there. We've got kayaks. We had pulled them off to the side and really had somebody who's experienced tell them, look, get in the water, get water in your wetsuit, kind of things to get them comfortable with the swim portion, which is usually the scariest part for most people. But really, going back to your original question, they just have to decide that they're going to attempt it. And then from there, a lot of those pieces fall into place. And you'll find that they'll do the short distance, and that's the very start of the triathlon bug. They'll go up in distances. They'll do full distance races, which are 140.6 miles. I mean, really, the sky's the limit once you get started. It's just making that initial decision to make a change, get a little bit healthier, and all of those resources are really right here. And we're thrilled to help people find those and get those local groups that they can bring.
So the numbers here are expected, at least so far, to be pre-COVID. How does that feel to have the numbers just back up and to kind of be past that section of the past 2 years that we've been dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely won't lie. It's been a very challenging time to be an event director. You know, a lot of races that are happening this year and right now are seeing their numbers down 30, 40, even 60%. And these are events that have been established events, have had very healthy participation bases. We're fortunate in that we are definitely back at our pre-pandemic numbers. You know, so it's this issue of participation dropping. It's not just a local issue; it really is a national one. But you know, I think it comes down to having strong community support. We're very fortunate to have really great sponsors that have stuck with us through the pandemic and have come on even after. Huntington Bank has been our primary sponsor since day one when we started in 2011. We have Discover Ada now has come on this year. They've seen that really we're the biggest event and opportunity to bring new people into Ada. So they were very excited to partner with us, and being able to get those businesses behind us, it helps to draw the community in, you know, and it's all pieces of that puzzle of attracting athletes. It definitely has gotten more expensive to put on events. I mean, you know, we're seeing supply chain issues just like everyone else, but I think focusing on the athlete experience, giving them a good time, making sure that every decision that we make is ultimately for the athlete to have a good, positive, successful day. And I think that's kind of been our recipe for success in getting our numbers back up while so many other races around us in the area just aren't doing that, unfortunately. And that's even getting some national recognition on our end from our governing body, USA Triathlon. They're looking at what we're doing here locally and trying to figure out how to apply some of that to some other events nationally that are struggling. They're seeing the same problems, but it's really getting that community support. I think is the key.
How does it feel to have that recognition from USA Triathlon to kind of, you know, hopefully be a base of what they can go after and what they can model other events after?
I mean, we're thrilled about it. To be honest, my partner, John Mosey, and I, we came into this in 2019 when we took this business over. We were former participants of the events. You know, I've done GRTri many times. So we joke that we probably became race directors at the exact worst time in the history of mankind to become race directors. But I think that's kind of aided us. We've been able to think outside the box very quickly. We didn't have kind of the way we used to do things because we were just coming into it fresh. So we were able to make decisions very quickly through COVID, keep engaged with our participants, keep engaged with our sponsors and community. And now we're really benefiting and seeing the fruits of those efforts of the past 2 to 3 years. To get where we are now. And you know, this isn't just something we're seeing with Grand Rapids Triathlon. You know, we do a number of events across the state. We've gone from 3 events last year to 8 events this year, and we're adding more next year. So we're seeing opportunities where others maybe are not. And we're able to take the processes that have been working very well for us at GRTri and apply them to these other events and see the same kind of results. Our August event, Michigan Titanium, is actually up above where it's ever been at this time. You know, we're up 30% right now, which is incredible. So it's just keeping at it. It's keeping community engagement, and we're thrilled to be able to get that national recognition from our governing body, and hope that other events will kind of follow suit and learn the same lessons that we've had to learn and apply them quickly.
You know, despite the unavoidable adversity that comes with COVID or supply chain, what is something that you're looking forward to the most as a director here of this race?
Quite honestly, when we were participants, the best thing is always getting to that finish line, and that's really that can make your whole day. Now, as a director, we get to do that for thousands of athletes, and it's so much more rewarding. It's seeing that nervousness in the morning before they enter the water. It's palpable if you're down there. I highly recommend anybody who's never seen a triathlon, come down this weekend, take it all in. You'll feel that energy, and then to see the athletes kind of go through their day, fight with that voice in their head that's telling them to quit, because that always happens to every single athlete throughout an event. And then to see them cross that finish line, it's more rewarding than all of my past races combined. My co-director says the same thing. It's just providing that to people, a vehicle for them to break their barriers and to do something that they're proud of and that their family's proud of. There's just nothing better. And you will see every shape and size of person, every age group. We'll have teenagers through 70-year-olds doing this event. So you literally get a complete slice of humanity at these events, and they're all working towards the same thing, and is to get to that finish line and push that previous unattainable goal that they had for themselves a little bit further.
Jon, I appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else that you'd like to put out there?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned, this is a community event, but it takes a community of volunteers. We literally need an army of volunteers every year to put on an event of this size. Right now, we're over 200 volunteers, which is great. Usually, we're around 300 to 350. I would highly recommend anybody. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Come out. You can go to our website, GrandRapidsTri.com. There's a volunteer tab that you can click on and get registered. We've got opportunities across the board. You can help down at the swim. You can help at finish line. You can help at an aid station. Set up, breakdown, whatever. We've got stuff through the entire weekend from Friday through Sunday for people to get involved, give back to the community a little bit, and support this great community event and the athletes doing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned in maybe halfway through this stream or are just now clicking in and you're watching on Facebook, there's a link attached. Takes you over to woodtv.com. You're able to view our full conversation there. Again, Jon, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Luke. We really appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a look at the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm News 8 Digital anchor Luke Lester. Have a great morning, great afternoon, and we'll see you around.